in making movies called forced perspective. When a shot is put together, the director has to fill every inch of the screen, and he makes decisions on what he wants the viewer's eye and where he wants the eye to go. Sometimes he pushes it to the front so that the viewer can focus on it. Some things go to the back, and they're not as noticeable or important. And a good director has a plan for what he wants to accomplish. Now, Fenwick has always had a plan. So 3 very quick stories. First story, Dominicans have always looked out after me. After Fenwick, I went to the University of Dallas, which is a Dominican-inspired school in Irving, Texas. And Texas seemed like freedom to me. I would be independent, I'd be able to make my own decisions. The drinking age was 18 for everything. You know, college at the time. So in my second semester there, I'm alone in the dorm room. The door's half open, the room is tiny, it's like 10 by 14, and you know, in the 70s, there are 2 priorities that you have. You know, the stereo and the bar. And my Panasonic quadraphonic stereo was blaring, and the Zeppelin 8-track was playing, and, you know, and the full bar was surrounding this tiny sink where the toothbrush and razor should be standing, you know, all of a sudden the door flies open. And standing there, in the traditional white Dominican robes, was Father John O'Malley, my theology teacher from Fenwick, from Oak Park, and he's in Texas. He's in my room. And he turns off the power to my quadraphonic stereo. You know, Stairway to Heaven is just tripped up. And there's dead silence. And he looks at me, and he stares me down, and he goes, "Dr. Wolande, let's see what you've been up to." I mean, you know, I'm a college guy, I'm smart, I'm sophisticated now, and I'm like, And he walks in, and he's a gunny sergeant, and you know, there's this inspection that goes on. And he proceeds to, you know, check out the album collection, check out what textbooks I'm using, and, you know, the mess of the room, and then he sees the bar, and I start sweating. And he starts examining the bottles, and then he opens up this clear bottle of tequila, and he pours a double shot. And I'm thinking, you know, I never went to Vietnam, but this is what a Vietnam flashback must feel like. And he smells it, and he looks at it at me sternly, and he drinks it. And then he looks at me and he goes, "I always loved the water in Texas." And then we talked for a while, and all the Dominicans there, they took me to dinner, and they checked up on me all the time. And for the first time in my life, I said, God, I love Fenwick. Father O'Malley, making the effort, forcing perspective. My second story was from my class's 30th anniversary celebration. We did something that I don't think we did ever at Fenwick. We went on a field trip to Las Vegas. And our co-classmate Larry Wirt and Danny Romano organized this great weekend at the New York casino. And 30 or 40 of us showed up. And, you know, in Sin City, go figure. And we didn't bring girlfriends or wives. They weren't allowed. Just us friars set loose in Las Vegas. And you can imagine what happened. But what happened was, the most memorable time of that memorable weekend came on Saturday night. Larry Wirt had secured us a nice little conference room in the middle of the hotel. And in the middle of Las Vegas, in the middle of this casino, in the middle of the glitter, the noise, the decadence, depravity, and vice, we distant friends and past friends gathered together in this quiet room. And as the sound and flurry of Las Vegas dissolved away behind us, my dear friend here, Father Ed Shea, he said Mass for us. A beautiful, spiritual, enlightening Mass. And I thought, God, I love Fenwick. The last story, 25th reunion, was at the school, and I was still struggling at the time. I'd shown up in a couple of movies and appeared on television. And you can go to my website, genewolande.com, and find out. And everyone's gathered, we're having a beer and we're yakking, and this old friend walks up and he says, "Gino, good to see you. Listen, I got to tell you, we're all real proud of you. You stuck to your guns, you followed your dreams, you went out into the world, you're making a name for yourself, you're getting famous. I mean, you must be having a blast, and we're all sort of envious." And I knew this guy, and I knew what he did for a living. And I shook my head and I said, "Kevin, tell me what it is you do again." He said, well, I'm a pediatric surgeon. And I go, actor, pediatric surgeon. Actor, pediatric surgeon. You know, and I don't want to diminish the St. Genesius word. I'm not going to give it back. But you know, in the same respect, actor, pediatric surgeon, actor, doctor, actor, plant manager, laborer, actor, parent, actor, priest. All worthy of our pride and praise, and not just once a year, but every day. There should be an award every day for the parent who takes an extra job so that they can provide their child with a Fenwick education. Every day there should be some honor to the parent who takes the extra time to keep a sharp eye on their child's studies, their actions, their social life, keeping them on the right path, day in and day out. Thank you, Mom. Every day celebrate those that provide employment for other people. And every day honor those graduates who save lives in the daily execution of their jobs. Now, the reason I bring up this celebrity thing is it's really important today in regards to the education of our youth. What has occurred in our society since the advent of mass communication, especially visual communications, is this cult of celebrity, where heroes and mentors are not defined by the quality of their character, but they're defined by the quantity of their exposure, or the size of their wallet, or the outrageousness of their behavior. I mean, countless athletes and entertainers, even presidents, have their flaws glamorized, repackaged, excused, teaching that bad behavior is actually cool. Well, it isn't, and all of our kids need to know that. You know, you add technology to this, natural disasters you could watch online, like the Japanese tsunami. You watch it, and you realize how humble we should be. And then there's unnatural disasters, like Charlie Sheen, or Jersey Shore, the Kardashians, Michael Vick. I mean, our kids are being bombarded during every waking moment with images and situations that can and do corrupt all the good that the parents and teachers attempt to instill. And you combine the celebrities and technological world, and you have this perfect storm of chaos. And there's no human factor in this equation. And whether we like it or not, we are quickly becoming a society where all our information, our education, our perspective, it's all being presented to us, not through interaction, but on a screen, an iPhone, an iPad, iPod, 3D flat screen. It's devoid of the human factor. It's anesthetizing these kids to the reality of the world. It numbs the relationship with family, with other human beings, and with our God. And our kids see their life through the prism of a screen, and it's a distorted screen. I mean, don't get me wrong, these things are great toys. They're great tools, but they are not great teachers. Parents and educators bear so much more responsibility now. You know, than in the past. They have to work so much harder to filter and focus and clarify and put in context this information tsunami that's washing over the children. Grabbing the attention of a teenager now is more than just a monumental task. It's almost impossible. But thankfully, Fenwick has always been and always will be up to that task. They know how to provide perspective. And from anybody that's gone there, forced perspective. So just to close, I want to end with a quote from C.S. Lewis. And it says, quote, "Education without values only makes a man a more clever devil."